Welcome to Learn to Crochet with Daisy. In today's tutorial, we will learn how to make a slip knot and a chain. Before we get started, I will show you the different ways of holding the hook and the yarn. Let us first have a look at the hook. This pointed end is called the head, and this tapering portion is called the throat. This portion is the shaft, and this flat portion in the middle is called the grip. This portion is the handle. We use the grip to hold the hook. There are two ways of holding it, like a knife or like a pen. If you're holding it like a pen, you will be using these three fingers. So you will use your thumb and your index finger to hold the hook like this, and use the middle finger for grip. If you're holding it like a knife, you will be holding it like this. You will use your thumb and your index finger to hold the grip, and the rest of your fingers wrapped around the hook like this. This is to ensure that the hook does not rotate upward while you're working on a project. So if you hold the hook anywhere else, it is possible that the hook will rotate upwards like this, and you don't want to do that. So for this tutorial, I am using a 4mm hook and this gorgeous yarn from Naco. It's called Look Menos. Now let's get started. And this end of the yarn is called the tail end, and this portion which comes from the ball, that is called your working yarn. So this is the tail end and this is the working yarn. Now from practice, I've learned that the best way to hold your yarn is like this. So the working yarn comes up through your pinky fingers and over these three fingers, and you hold it like this. The reason why this is my favorite way is because I can just flex my index finger and control the tension on my project. You will understand what gauge is when we learn some of the other lessons, but for now, just all you need to know is this is how we hold the yarn. So let's get started with the slip knot. We'll start by making a loop with the tail end underneath the working yarn like this. So this is your tail end, and I've put the working yarn over it. So we will take the hook, insert it through the loop, grab this yarn, the working yarn, pull it up through the loop, and tighten the knot by pulling on both ends of the yarn at the same time. Let's do that one more time. So I'll make a loop with the tail end underneath the working yarn like this. Insert the hook into the loop, grab the working yarn, pull it through, and tighten the knot by pulling on both ends at the same time. I'm going to show you one more time before we go to the chain. So make a loop with the tail end underneath your working yarn, and honestly, you don't need the hook for this. You can just put your fingers through this loop, grab this working yarn, pull it out, and then you can insert the hook through the loop. Oops, sorry. You can insert it like this and tighten the knot by pulling on both ends at the same time. So this is how you make a slip knot. So you can pause the video right here, go ahead and practice this a couple of times before we start the chain. So here is our slip knot, and like we discussed earlier, we will be holding the yarn like this, and use your thumb and your middle finger to hold the project like this. Now wrap the yarn around your hook from back to front like this. Let me show that again. Wrap the yarn around the hook from back to front like this. This action is called a yarn over. You need to remember that because we will be using that a lot. Let's try that one more time. Wrap the yarn around the hook from back to front. Now grab this yarn through the loop on the hook like this. We've just made a chain one. And also the loop on the hook, it never counts as a chain. So when you're counting the number of chains, you always leave that out. So I want to do a chain 16, so I'm going to make 15 more chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There you go. So 15 plus 1, that's 16 chains. The abbreviation for a chain is CH, and the symbol is this. So it looks like a small grain of rice or just a dash. So if you're going through a written pattern and it says chain CH16, it means chain 16. And this symbol, when you're reading charts and graphs, you will see this. So you will have to chain as many number of times this symbol is repeated. And let me also show you the back loop and the front loop. So right here you see 2 loops on the top, and there is 1 loop in the back. Can you see that properly? Yes, so 2 loops here and 1 loop at the back. So the loops in front are called the front loops, the ones at the back are the back loops. And if you just turn your chain backwards, there's this little bump that you see. Well, I just call it the bump at the back. Well, so that's it for today's lesson. I'll see you in the next lesson, where we will learn to make this single crochet.